Welcome back to Cronos Quality. In the previous video, we established something critical. 5S cannot be treated as a set of isolated activities. It must be managed as a structured project. But now, a deeper question emerges. If we need structure, what kind of structure actually works in real organizations? Because here is the uncomfortable truth. Most traditional project models do not work well in dynamic operational environments. They are too rigid, too slow to adapt, too dependent on initial assumptions. And when reality changes, which it always does, these models struggle. So the question is not just how to structure 5S. The question is, how do we create a structure that adapts without losing control? Traditional project models are built around predictability. They assume that the scope is well defined, the sequence of activities is stable, and the environment will not change significantly. But in real operations, this is rarely the case. Production priorities shift. Resources become constrained. Unexpected issues arise. New urgencies emerge. And suddenly, the original plan is no longer aligned with reality. At that point, organizations face a dilemma. Either they rigidly follow a plan that no longer makes sense, or they abandon the plan altogether. Neither option leads to sustainable results. This is where a new mindset is required. We do not need less structure. We need better structure. A structure that is clear, disciplined, but also adaptable. A structure that allows the organization to respond to change without losing direction. Because adaptability without structure creates chaos, and structure without adaptability creates stagnation. The goal is to integrate both. Agile thinking introduces a different approach to managing work. Instead of trying to define everything up front, it focuses on short cycles of execution, continuous prioritization, frequent feedback, and incremental progress. This does not mean lack of planning. It means planning differently. Planning in a way that evolves with reality. Planning that is continuously refined based on what is learned during execution. One of the most important shifts is this: moving from prediction to adaptation. Traditional models try to predict the future. Agile approaches accept that the future is uncertain. And instead of trying to eliminate uncertainty, they build systems that can respond to it. This is a fundamental change in mindset, because it changes how decisions are made. Decisions are no longer based only on what was planned. They are based on what is happening now. At first glance, 5S may not seem complex enough to require this level of thinking. But that perception is misleading. Because 5S is not just about organizing spaces. It is about changing behaviors. It is about creating discipline. It is about sustaining standards over time. And these are dynamic challenges. They evolve as people interact with the system. They evolve as priorities change. They evolve as the organization grows. And that is exactly why a rigid model does not work. This is where the Cronos quality methodology begins to take shape. Not as a theoretical model, but as a response to real-world challenges. Instead of applying traditional project management directly, we adapted key principles from Agile thinking. Not to copy Scrum, but to translate its logic into an operational environment, into factories, into production systems, into real teams dealing with real constraints. The methodology is built around a few fundamental principles. Short execution cycles. Instead of long, static plans, work is organized in defined cycles. Continuous prioritization. Instead of fixed lists, priorities are regularly reviewed and adjusted. Structured follow-up. Instead of sporadic meetings, there is a consistent rhythm of monitoring and decision-making. Clear roles and responsibilities. Instead of ambiguity, ownership is defined and visible. And most importantly, focus on execution. Because in the end, progress is not defined by plans. It is defined by what is actually implemented. One of the most underestimated elements in project execution is rhythm. Without rhythm, even well-defined systems lose energy. Tasks are delayed. Follow-ups are inconsistent. Decisions are postponed. And slowly, momentum disappears. Agile thinking brings rhythm through defined cycles and regular interactions. It creates a heartbeat for execution. A cadence that keeps the system alive. And this is one of the most powerful elements we bring into 5S. A common concern when introducing structure is bureaucracy. But structure does not need to be heavy. It needs to be effective. The goal is not to create more meetings. The goal is to create better decisions. The goal is not to increase documentation. The goal is to increase clarity. When structure is well designed, it simplifies execution. It does not complicate it. When Agile principles are applied correctly to 5S, several things change. Work becomes more focused. Teams know what matters now, not just what was planned before. Progress becomes visible. Because execution is broken into smaller, measurable cycles. Decisions become faster. Because they are made based on current information. And engagement increases. Because teams see real progress happening. So what we are proposing is not a small adjustment. It is a shift in how 5S is managed. From static planning to adaptive execution. From activity lists to prioritized actions. From sporadic follow-up to structured rhythm. From uncertainty to controlled adaptability. This is what transforms 5S into a living system. Now that we understand the logic behind this approach, the next step is to make it practical. Because concepts only create value when they are applied. In the next video, we will start building this structure step by step. We will begin with the foundation. Kickoff, governance, and the role of leadership in creating alignment from the start. Because at the end of the day, success is not defined by having the best methodology. It is defined by having a methodology that works in reality. One that adapts. One that sustains. One that delivers results over time. And that is the purpose of the Cronos quality methodology. If you want to understand how to structure 5S with real execution capability, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and continue this journey with us. And let me ask you something. In your organization, is your system designed to predict? Or to adapt? Share your thoughts in the comments.